The radar gun is a successful system because it revolutionized the game of baseball, not only how it is played, but also how it is watched. As one can see from the evolution map, the method of calculating the speed of a baseball has come a long way. From the speeding motorcycle in 1914 to the adoption of the radar gun by the major leagues in 1975, the method for calculating the speed of the ball has finally been perfected, at least as far as we know. You wonder how players were scouted effectively in the pre-radar gun era, when today you can't find a scout that does not have a radar gun with him or her at all times when looking for talent at the next level. The system that is the radar gun has taken a concept as complex as a Doppler effect and made it to where someone could hold up a radar gun and simply look at the digital readout to see how fast the ball is moving. Classification. The radar gun is physical, non-living, and man-made. Structure visibility. The radar gun is an open system. Fans are at a black box because they just know that it calculates ball speed. Scouts, players, and coaches are at a gray box because they have a general understanding of how the radar gun works. And manufacturers are at a white box because they understand the Doppler effect and how that impacts the production of the radar gun. System boundary diagram. The radar gun begins with inputs such as the thrown baseball and the player's arm strength. Inside the system boundary, you have to operate the system, locate the data, record the data, and relay the data through the digital readout. This yields the output that is ball speed. Systemogram for the radar gun. The nodes in green are the areas of interest, so you have radar gun in the top left and ball speed in the bottom right. The orange nodes, such as companies, baseball operations, scouts, coaches, trainers, players, and general managers, these are all the stakeholders of the radar gun. The nodes in yellow are the components, such as the trigger mechanism and the digital readout. The nodes in blue are kind of the backstory for the radar gun, such as Christian Doppler, who described the Doppler effect and how light and sound waves are used to measure the ball speed. Finally, the baseball in red is what makes all this happen. Spatial arrangement for the radar gun. The metasystem is the baseball operations. The system itself is obviously the radar gun, with the parallel system being a laser timer that can measure 60-yard dash speed in baseball. Subsystems of the radar gun include scouts and players, and some of the elements of the radar gun include the digital readout and the trigger mechanism. The evolution of the radar gun. In 1842, the Doppler effect was described by Christian Doppler. In 1914, it was called the speeding motorcycle test, where the baseball was tested against a motorcycle passing by. In 1939, they used a photoelectric speed meter, which was a ball that was hurled into a tunnel cutting across two light beams aimed at photoelectric cells. In 1954, the radar gun was invented, initially used by the police force. Finally, in 1975, the radar gun made its first major league appearance. System life cycle of the radar gun. Step 1, establish system need. The MLB decided that they have a need for a more efficient way to track the ball speed. In this step, there's no risk, and the stakeholders are the Major League Baseball, the police force, and the competing producers. Step 2, develop system concept. They decided that they need some type of handheld device that can easily calculate and relay the ball speed. In this step, the stakeholders are again the competing producers and Major League Baseball. Step 3, design and develop system. They need a handheld device that has a trigger mechanism, a digital readout, and is battery operated. The risk in this step is that it will be over budget, and the stakeholders are the competing producers and Major League Baseball. Step 4, produce system. They need to produce the radar gun that is more specific to baseball rather than the police force. The risk here is that they will be over schedule and they will have a technical error while producing the system. The stakeholder in this step is the producing companies. Step 5, deploy the system. They need to sell the radar gun to Major League Baseball. The risk in this step is systemic, to where the radar gun could be a huge bust. The stakeholders here are the Major League Baseball and the producer. Step 6. Operate the system. The scouts use the radar gun to evaluate and track ball speed. The risk here again is systematic, and the stakeholders are the scouts, baseball operations, and the players. Finally, step 7, retire the system. Right now, we don't foresee the radar gun being retired. System innovation. The radar gun itself has evolved to the point that there are even smaller handheld devices as well as apps that can calculate ball speed accurately. Innovations have only helped to make the radar gun even more accessible to the public, making the everyday fan more aware of the system and all it has done for the MLB as a whole.